With the iconic Cher, Cher the Memoir, Part 1 is the name of the book. If you can get your hands on a copy, I highly encourage you to get your hands on a copy. You know, the book covers so much of the ups and downs of your career. People, I think, tend to focus on the ups. It's all been ups. But you had the highest highs and the lowest lows, and you really, at the highest point, at the time, you crashed into the lowest low, where you couldn't get jobs, ran out of money, owed the IRS, had to sell your house. And so eventually you start working on this comeback, which led to...
Right, but we were playing like terrible places, you know, like really terrible places.
4 people in the club.
Yeah, well, one second show, we had 4 people, and I was asking the guy, are you going to make us actually really work for these 4 people?
Right.
He said, yeah. So, no, but, so, we had no money. We were playing these horrible places, and Sonny just said to me, give me 2 years, and you will be more famous than you ever dreamt of. And in 2 years, to the day, Sonny and Cher Show.
Unbelievable. You know, and I said, I don't think a lot of, like, present-day modern women really appreciate what you were doing was such an extraordinary thing, and it set an example of working mothers. It was not a very prominent thing at the time. It was not, I know you had a working mother, but a lot of people didn't.
Right.
And to see that example, I think really paved a way for a generation of women that owe a lot to you.
Well, that's...
Because you had to go, I know, you had to go through a lot of BS.
Right. I remember my mom had a party, and this man and woman came in, and they introduced, this is Mr. So-and-so, and this is Mrs. So-and-so. And it was like, she must have a name. And I went to my mom. I said, Mom, do something. That man wouldn't introduce his wife.
Right.
So, I mean, things were different, you know. I'm not saying you guys have it easy, but women have a chance to be who they want to be, you know. Back in the day, you might not be able to, you might be able to be something, but no one was going to let you. Also, in my business, women just got the wrong end of the lollipop, you know.
For sure.
Yeah. Now, not so much.
Yeah.
Right.
The Sonny Cher Show was one of the biggest TV shows, but at its height, it didn't last. Can you explain why?
Well, the show lasted for sure, but Sonny kind of started to...
Change.
Yeah. Start smoking cigars. I knew there was something in the wind there. And also, he just lost interest in me. He liked me when we were working. We had a great time when we were working.
That had to be very confusing for you, to go and do the show and have the Sonny that you knew was in there, and then the cameras go off and there's this shift. There's this wanting to exert control over you. There's this wanting to control every aspect of your life. You weren't permitted to leave and hang out with your bandmates.
Yeah.
You weren't permitted.
I wasn't allowed to talk to the band.
Right.
But so he was very strict, but also I was with him from the time I was 16, so it took me a long time to, you know, a house had to fall on my sister before I knew what was going on, you know? So, and by the time, also, I don't have a temper.
Right.
But by the time I was finished, you know? It was like, I'm done, dude, I'm out of here. And so, I mean, I still liked him. I still loved him. I mean, even when he did terrible things, I loved him because he was like my brother, my father. He was my husband. He was all things. It was just that some of the parts that he played in my life weren't nice. But the Sonny and Cher Show was a place we could always go. We always had fun. You know, it was like, it was the something-free zone, the whatever, be who you want to be zone.
Yeah, stress-free zone.
Yeah.
Like you could just really...
Right. And we had so much fun. I mean, we had so much fun with each other on that show, and we were like we used to be.
Yeah.
And off stage, not so much.
You end the show with a... You end the book with a cliffhanger, if you will. You're backstage... and you reunite with your friend Francis Ford Coppola.
Yes.
And he asks you a question. What's the question he asks you?
No, he just said, you know, why aren't you, you could be an actress, why aren't you acting? And it was like, are you crazy? You know? No, I wanted to, but I knew every head of every studio. I knew everybody, you know? And my best friends were like doing amazing things, Jack Nicholson and Warren Beatty. And I mean, like everybody's doing stuff and I'm making Dark Lady, you know? And I wanted to be
Dark
doing
Lady's
something.
amazing, though. Please,
Please.
come on. Come on.
Yeah.
I know,
So I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a job. And then oh God, I can't tell you what she said, but I had this friend who said, you know, if you're serious, go to New York, become an actress. And I went there, and because of my mom, I got a play on Broadway.
well, we certainly enjoyed you being here retelling some of these stories. I know it's torture for you.
Yeah.
Make sure you pick up a copy of Cher, the Memoir, Part 1.
Available everywhere books are sold.